Good evening. In our hour of need, just after the terrorist attacks on September the 11th, President Musharraf quickly condemned the evildoers. He's shown even greater courage and vision and leadership in the weeks since. Our nations share an urgent mission, which is to stop and defeat terrorism wherever it may exist. That mission is not directed against those who practice Islam. That mission is directed against evil people. We discussed ways to accelerate our progress in Afghanistan against al-Qaeda and the Taliban. We also discussed our humanitarian efforts to help Afghans through the winter. And we spent time on the need to work together for long-term reconstruction of Afghanistan once the Taliban no longer hold power. Pakistan's efforts against terror are benefiting the entire world and linking Pakistan more closely with the world. The United States wants to help build these linkages. I've authorized a lifting of sanctions and over $1 billion in U.S. support. I will also back debt relief for Pakistan. I want to thank Senators Grassley and Baucus of our United States Congress for introducing legislation that will improve market access in the United States to Pakistan's products. I'm pleased that the President is committed to restore democracy in Pakistan. Pakistan is a strong ally. President Musharraf is a strong leader. And the world is deeply appreciative for his leadership. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Well, it's my pleasure to be talking to all of you. Let me first of all say that I myself, my government, and the people of Pakistan condemn in the strongest terms the wanton act of terrorism on the 11th of September against the United States. We condole with all the bereaved. Having said that, let me right away say that Pakistan has taken a considered decision to be a part of the coalition, to be with the United States, to fight terrorism in all its forms, wherever it exists. And let me also assure the President that Pakistan will remain committed to the fight against terrorism. I also see now the start of a dawn of a new era of relationship between Pakistan and the United States. Pakistan will hope for a very sustainable and long-standing futuristic relationship developing between Pakistan and the United States, a relationship which we always have had in the past. Having said that, let me say that I had very fruitful discussions with the President on Afghanistan and on the method of fighting terrorism. On Afghanistan, we have unanimity of views on a political dispensation which needs to be encouraged through the people of Afghanistan to be brought into Afghanistan, and a rehabilitation and a humanitarian relief strategy that needs to be worked out. We have total unanimity of views on these. Lastly, I did apprise the President on Pakistan's concerns and Pakistan's difficulties from the fallout of whatever is happening in our region. And let me very gladly say that the President showed total concern for it and also assured Pakistan to help out in the maximum possible way. I remain extremely grateful to the President for his concern for Pakistan and for his desire to assist Pakistan through the difficulties that we are facing at the moment. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, The President has agreed to take some questions, and so have I. And both of us will take 2 questions from each side, starting with Mr. Fournier of Associated Press.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to ask both of you about the same topic. Secretary Powell suggested yesterday that the Northern Alliance shouldn't take control of Kabul. Does that mean you would discourage them from seizing the capital? And please explain what he meant when he said that Kabul should become an open city and use post-World War II Berlin as an example. And to you, Mr. President, why don't you think Kabul should be taken by the Northern Alliance?
Well, I think we share a common view that in order for there to be a country that is stable and peaceful on this good leader's western border, that any power arrangement must be shared with the different tribes within Afghanistan. And a key signal of that will be how the city of Kabul is treated. We will encourage our friends to head south across the Somali plains, but not into the city of Kabul itself. And we believe we can accomplish our military missions by that strategy. So the Secretary, I don't want to put words in the good Secretary's mouth, but we believe a strategy that makes sense for the long run is one that is all-encompassing. And a signal of that strategy will be how the city of Kabul is treated.
Well, I agree with the President totally. Why I have been recommending that Kabul should not be occupied by the Northern Alliance basically is because of the past experience that we've had when the various ethnic groups were in hold of Kabul after the Soviets left. There was total atrocities, killings and mayhem within the city. And I think if the Northern Alliance enters Afghanistan, enters Kabul, we'll see the same kind of atrocities being perpetuated against the people there, against the populace there, which needs to be avoided.
Only, I said 1 question, now you're going with 3. Why don't you call on somebody down?
Mr. President. Yeah. Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Which one?
This is from President Bush. I ask my President questions at home. President Bush, your government and the U.S. government in the past and currently has been proactively using the UN Security Council to solve problems and in conflict areas. When will you invoke the UN Security Council to intervene on the issue of Kashmir, which is clearly an issue which is at the basis of conflict in South Asia?
Well, we've had a very good discussion on this subject, and I assured the President that my country will do what we can to bring parties together to have good, meaningful discussions on the subject so that we can come up with a solution.
United Nations involvement in it, Mr. President?
I think our involvement is exactly how I described it to the President. Patsy.
Mr. President, Osama bin Laden says he already has nuclear and chemical weapons. Do you believe him, and where do you think he would get them from?
The only thing I know certain about him is that he is evil. And, I don't know what to believe about him except that he wants to hurt Americans. I suspect he now wants to hurt the people of Pakistan. And we're not going to let him. We will do everything we can to stop him here at home, and we're doing everything we can to hunt him down and bring him to justice. Those kind of statements he utters reinforces the coalition's efforts to bring him to justice, and that's exactly what's going to happen with Mr. Osama bin Laden. All the more reason for us to pursue him diligently and to get him. And that's what we're going to do.
It's Pakistan's turn now.
Fine by me.
My question is addressed to President George Bush. Mr. President, United States of America time and again has said that it is against and it will eradicate all sort of terrorism. My question to you, Mr. President, is when you are going to deal with the question of state-sponsored terrorism, my question is reference to the Kashmir situation first, and the other part of my question is, how do you view the personal contribution and role of Pakistan's leader, General Pervez Musharraf, in curbing terrorism, global terrorism? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. My government strongly condemned the terrorist attacks on October the 1st. Strongly condemned them, as did President Musharraf. He condemned those attacks as well. We share the same vision about terror, that it should not exist anywhere in the world. The President is working hard to strengthen Pakistan. He's got an education vision, which I find to be enlightened. After all, he's got a very brilliant woman running the education department of Pakistan. The reason I bring that up is both of us work hard to make our countries hopeful and optimistic, and we recognize that a terrorist attack on either one of us will disrupt the lives of ordinary citizens and disrupt our plans to bring prosperity and hope and opportunity for our respective countries. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening tonight in New York City. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.